Igoro benki ya umwanchi umurigererio Ndizi TV na bwo nsubo mu gusingwe gena litkoria uri abere litoero kegima na nene kwa bere gokwego kya asuku bwatia emirobero yonsi yeritkoria rero ekero kire kitari kibere cyo motienyo kane umwaka bw'ikibibere na 2023 ana litkoria rero nigo lyarenge litkorio koinyora uburoire bwa asma nigo boigo lyarenge litkoria asemeriye kwa mereria serikali ya Azimio la Umoja One Kenya aliyo gukora ukurobekana ase chinsemo au chingakibona bagendrete komo cia serikali asogote babuna no gutekerania amaganio yaba Kenya asinonya nabo twara na ukurobekana uko nigo kwaba guteraniwa n'abanyanyimbo yentononya nababara yabukoro asobo mu bwa Azimio babere bakugikeria bururu nechinga kinge bonekero yaragire Eyemo yabona mugoroba ekerongo kwarigania SMS Amayia irongo manyibuna nara yakubwatirana n'abasaki baito twakwarganirie asenchera ere yubukirano kono nditangana kegima tigaturanyore gatiari ngwariganirete asenchera ere yubwenge
Man urere buye kuba akonyora montago sinikoyana yachura oso montago kor
ritko ryo konyora oborwaire bwa asma nigo tokumanyiwa manke igoro yoborwaire wegasu mubiro mwanya bantu
William Ruto and his illegitimate regime are making serious attempts to suspend our hard-won constitution, which we shall not allow.
Titorigo chiwanja koundereriwa ne serikali ya Kenya kwanza inse yomuraiwense Dr. William Samoei Ruto bakanira baraikurwase obomo bwa Azimio la Umoja One Kenya.
The government through the National Treasury terminates further payment of retirement benefits to the immediate former president, the retired prime minister and the 10th vice president.
Kuboria kuriwa wochia serikali wetrase wizara yeke gancha chibesa chomutimo korita ya sabara ibe serikali enkorogo teneniwa. Mwanchi umurigereria yo mnaenda mangengo kwariganira ngumanya senchira ere yo wikirane karango konyore na sensemere ya Facebook nigo ratunyarwetera Ndizi TV News Digital asensemo ya YouTube Ndizi TV News aso mutandao Twitter nabo twitwetera @Ndizi TV News boigo nabo gusanga kirengerere kyao wetera se namba era se screen ere togendere wesanga nabo igo kwemanyia amanke ere tariane Everline Osero ekeroto kubwatirana na Joshua Auta kweneke mna wekeire asensemo yebimanyererio kabana intwe wika omwerio ukwari ganto ya chake asenchira ya bene awase ritkoria rero ensengima yabage kwinyura oborwaire bwa asma ritkoria manyikande ose World Asthma Day ase abamanyi ba marwaire gusabanya getari korwase chinsinyo au babere bagukwanira igoro yoborwaire obuiga Dr. Oimeke oyore omunyagetari asinyagetari ya KTRH boigo omusiyo ntenenera nigakwanira amabe yoborwaire obuiga ase omubere omunyabantu ase boigo abanyagetari bande korwase kinyagetari au gati abenyagetari ya hema babere bagukwanira obuborero bwiga nanene kuboria abantu kwenekia bunankweso kyabarekera barorere byorokererio eliyo konyora oburinkoria naboigo obuwenya bwagenkyo muri kito Josephat Amisi nabakagusanga nabo nagutwariganira roboti rwa senchira yobwikirano
Jumanne ya kabere yo mutinyo gatano kero mwaka ensengima nige gochengera anana litkolia asma asabo batani be sekte bachene bago chamo ele kwena na maigerio igorio burire obo bwasma Korengana daktari Oimeke marito yogokora emeremo asenya gitali ya Kisii teaching and referral nigatoereire anene oborire obo bwasma mboroire borobiobo
asma no urere buye kuba akonyora montago sinikoyana yachura oso montago korra ekerara ngena se eidogo kendu ebuse erioki oseri musuri itindi
Korende ebimanyererio by'oborwaire bwa asma gose egekubekebe mbire byebi
ninge okendu nabo kogera asma yaba igoro efumbi dust abantu abageza ne like nature animals kama se Gusii those animal far na bekogera pia yachangia those are called predisposing ama risk factors and akonyora nembe gokoera bangno no gotire getiro gose gokore egasi yago konyora na embe yakorere bwango yekara korore sign jiri sign nechiga njunya gitari
nokoyana kore igoro osogo siekana montago tinge ngo siekana tege kuba Okomulire njira akoyana kwanza ngatego ndara gukwana akora mangana akona chiranjira. Oso muntu ne gotire getire osichistas osinyogotira. Asolio egosigana kwegekuba.
Oburire obubwasima mbubwati chanje ndeyonsi bunago tutebe daktari Cosmas Ontondi korwa senyekitari ya Ema kurende kurengena daktari oimeke nabo muntu akunyara ko bakonyora anene chanjo ya ilikuba yikwirira gutanga anene oburire obubwasima gosoa aso mubere omwanya bantu
oburire bwasima mbubwati vaccine ose iliyogolire go prevent konyora asthma just oburire bwogotana genetics. Okay, now it's hereditary. Bubwati vaccine. Again, to kende kelina kero kwanyori asthma, koso bwato uroro asthma. It's a lifetime disease. It's a chronic disease.
The vaccine ero ya influenza. Eyo ekobitulimo omwaka. The timing ya ene season gete yeliko. Now around this time baga mutenya around yo 9. Aso you can do change of weather. Makwana ragocha ale special ayago take vaccine. The vaccine no mwana makana bako betu monto makotuna bako betu.
Nigo bono abakenya banyarako bagosemewa banyarako bagutumia amarigo bakonyarako bakwena no kurwa asa chinyagitari yira irere anene komenya amuno burire obwaso bwabo nabugo kogendera amuno bukoreri bwabo bwakira lituko.
Tubata bachezaji abange sana ensengima tubata bamenyaki ensengima bagwata asma lakini toko mangana bata asma kera mane to mwaka waida asolia kutumeke eliogo ni hela yego control
to negento burere gore common ana boko kagerana no burere bonde gose pneumonia ekeuno oso burere bonda kinasi mubwate
ekero kwanyolire nango kororole for example kororole kagali ekwa kya go fungana kwa igo korosa bwango okoliga murabotuko ogwasimora mbuyo goche nyagitari karo wachire nyagitari ogatoro bolingoli nyagitari ndirago go examine nono ko yana otegera mate swati ko stethoscope to use to ategera goche gekuba
ko ripoteri gotaseni Ndizi TV korwe county ya Kisii eliterana Josephat Hamese
Miyamono murikeito Josephat Hamisi ase oroboti ururu ikirano togotikana nayo nigo kubwatikana nuko gwawe kiambukiro gose daraja asensemo ya Nyamache ase bunge abo basime county ya Kisii aburi tkuregoro nigo yaenekiwe mna ondetayo betega kubwatiranirwa ase omobasukano yo nigaba obisa korwa ase kiombe ya Kenha ase orogonko rwa Nyanza abakubwatirana nabo obisa korwa ase kiombe kirigetenerete mebasukano imeye county ya Kisii nigo baikirana ase ayo iri kurigereria yabuna aye daraja yabetege gusarika asibaburirie abamenyi benseme yo koba maiso anene chinga kiechige mbure nyinga gendrete ko enekiwa ase chinsemo au muri kyoitonde mo Stephen nekirana sayo na gutwarganira roboti rwa senchira yoboime
magega yembure nyinge koreka na gutwa sorgongo rwa Gusii nigo yorere tasarene na se parene nere ase daraja chinsemo cha Nyamache yanyarite kubutoka na korero mo cyano mana saba menyi benseme yo.
Sasa mimi hata majina yangu nimesahau kabisa kwa sababu hii daraja venye ilianguka tu jana. Mimi nimekuwa hapa na customer wangu wa kuosha pikipiki hapa. Pikipiki za customer zangu mbili silienda tu na maji. Masini yangu yenye nawashanga tu pressure ilienda tu na maji. Ndoo zangu natumianga tu hapa silienda tu na maji sote. Kibanda yangu hakuna. Sasa mimi nauliza hii serikali hii kuaso magali sitapitia wapi ndio sikuje hapa ndio nioshe. Ndio tupate pia sisi waso wetu, mapato yetu hapa sahi. Sahi mimi naumia tu njaa hapa, nashinda tu nienda wapi. Nitorokea nani ndiye anisaidie?
Jana mvua ilinyesha hapa Nyamache sana. Ilinyesha zaidi ya mara 6. Sasa ikifika kama jioni hivi hapa bila mumeangalia hii daraja ilifunjika mbaya sana. Nilikuwa nataka kwenda kuuza mayai hapa ngambo. Mimi nimekuta daraja imekatika.
This incident occurred last night. We managed to deploy officers throughout the night so that we prevent any kind of accident because many travelers didn't know that there is such a disaster. So far we have lost no life in this incident.
Rero abwatani abanene bembasukano kurwa sorgongo rwa Nyanza na bali bekipara mbaikirana enseme yo ase barigereria okobutoko kugwepara asoboime.
And the structure that has been here before is an Amco culvert. that was done long time ago in the 60s. So over time, it has worn out, and that was the reason why it gave in. What we are doing is we have assessed the damage. We are now working on a cost estimate, which we'll transmit to our headquarters so that we can get emergency funds to do another structure.
Abamenyi nigo basabiru kwerenda chinga keche chiembure nyinge asichi skuru cha sabiru kobeke bintu bigotanga chinkova lightning arresters.
Next week we'll be having schools opening. We have put in place plans to ensure that learning is not interrupted. So those are some of the things that we are working on. But mainly we want to put emphasis on the road network, the drainage issues, so that we don't find ourselves in a situation whereby the roads are rendered impassable.
What we are calling upon the members who stay in Nyasasa area, where there is, we assessed last week on Monday, there is high risk of mudslides, and we are asking them to be alert so that whenever there is high levels of rain, they should be able to move to safer grounds. And also we are calling upon all places that have been clogged and rivers so that people can be able to open the flowways on the roads to avoid more disasters.
Emero belini gagendrete kobe kwa bune pale yogo chikoro sigu nainde eliko gendererio bosombi. Kuripotelia Ndizi TV korwa ensemo ya Nyamache Bobasi constituency elietaliane Ndemo Steven.
Mbia mano murikeito Ndemo Stephen ase oroboti ururikiranu nekero bono obo mubwazimio la umoja wa Kenya bugenderete kuruberia maandamano sinsemo Ensa ya Kenya ase ukwamiria serikali ase gutekerania magana ya Kenya nigo murikeito korwa ase county ya Nyamira job manki abagakwira chinga kibene na usangane gati abamenyi korwa ase county ya Nyamira kubwatikana no kurubekano kwiga ni autumanya buna egati y'abananchi niganene bakire koko kurubekana na utana nerenchira yoka ireirere serikali koreta amaunchirerio asinonya nabo egati y'abananchi babeire bakoyikeria okurubekano kwiga na otebana nigo korachi gusaria enibo enyinge y'Abakenya nabono nigo abananchi abo baganirie abaraikuru chinseme chibere gokoro koigwana elio koreta omorembe imeyense ya Kenya muri gitukoro ase county ya Nyamira job manki na manki
Maiga ye kamati achoretu elinde koleta okuigwana na egati umuraibu Ense William Ruto no umuraibu ekiombekea Azimio Raila Odinga osinyana chinkwana umuraibu ekiombekea Azimio la Umoja wa Kenya Alliance Raila Odinga araba Kenya asokorobekana asegati amaganio aligetie serikali goikerania nogo keigo wekerengo kyobugima no koigorwa boigo gwe sava ya IEBC Ntwasanga nigati abamenyi be county Nyamira elinde komanya ebirengereri byabo igoro yengane yo kurobekana
Bono tosinyirenga ekera ruta gota togenda mugondo kolema atoko genda kolema mugondo boya tataeti
ni kama this government teikoigu na kia gotebiu bono the only language ekoigwa this is the only language government ekoigwa
Asigati abo bateba nigo bakwa okoboko okorobekana okwo asengencho obugima bwa kongire mono
twanenge gwakari lakini sai uchumi imekuwa juu Ruto gendere gutongainireria kiagera kirenge ntoka gukwana ngokorare tako pafu njama ndero amandamano nana goteba gendera asengencho ntoro chubu yasibori kiagera bintu bigenda tako ngari tukaserinde
wasibwe to wakana wali school fees tayo kantor ko bayigotia
abantu bakura chisudagiro babera isiko abantu bakora kikazi baritaya andi abantu bali baritaye naende bairani kutigazi
Mbasaba serikali kuligereria okugania kwa Bakenya na gokeya ekerengo kyobugima asebasaba okorobekano kugokorwa asenchera yo morembe
Bono Raila ominto tigasoke buye iga maandamano akorwa maya endagerego esukali egeregoro digo lirie ndagera chibando 200 tokogora besenchiyo abantu bachandikete Nyamira bono igona nayo gosabanga amandamano aya into Nyamira igana boto yanchire tabororo lakini amandamano ya amani montatari waka monto na
Ense moyende mbagikeria okorobekana okwo asibateba nigo koirere osaliwa no goturbanirwa kwenibo y'Abakenya
Nintendo segakuna ya maandamano Yekera maandamano okorwe nintendo osariki bure sana abantu baumye bintu bya abantu bya polwa chenga tonale gotera ila Ruto hizi time egera nikiragambire bikutashuka wakati wao ukifika.
Dr. William Ruto atwajika kuchingorora kolega tumoroche ngana bakoja mambo ya maandamano tupilia mbali ngakijonse kuandamanire ngakijonse kwarobirira abantu bandamane togo kuguoka abantu baminto bakure
mbasaba barayikara nsanse na kuigwana na elinde koleta omorembe asense icho ya Kenya.
Fanya toka nyara maoni ya ira kuna rana mami tunafata toka nyara Ruto kwa maoni ya mama tunafata ondela ndio kanje kugwa ege ntoke tunomoremba paro
Kurwasi County Nyamira gingo reporter ya Ndizi TV Job Maangi
Miamono murikeito Job Mangi ase oroboti ururikiranu kurwase County ya Nyamira ikarotoroche bana bananchi nigo bagenderete kubwatuka ibirengerere byabo kubwatukana no kurubekana ase chinsemo imiyense ya Kenya kurwase semerie kwa mirire serikali ya Azimio la Umoja wa Kenya mwanchu muri ribano litkolia lero no muroberi orenge bwo bakora kurubekana nigo ababwatani bo bwa Azimio kurwase chinsemo gati yabo county ya Kisumu county ya Homa Bay ensemo ya Madare nsemo ya Ngong Road meumucho Nairobi gatie chinsemo chinde beso kiana gokora ukurubekana gento kyabetererino abanyanyimbo gutumia chitiaga suserio kiroko Rusia mariga maiso eriogo seberekania abananchi na koreta omorembe nonya nabo nigo sensemo ya Nairobi yarokana ko bumuchando monene asinonya chigari cyaba chigosambwa gento kyabage koreta ugusariwa kwenibo enyinge y'abananchi. Mwancho muri richinga kiecho ni gabara ikorwase obomo bwa Azimio la Umoja wa Kenya bakora ono murai wekia mekyo Raila Amolo Odinga na boigo mokonyo ye Martha Karua baba weso kya magega y'abanyanyimbo gotenenia okurobekana sichinsemo na gukwanera enganeyo asbaba ko yigikeria bororo na watabuna egati yabara ikorwase obomo bwa Kenya kwanza na bo baba bakobeka abantu gete aba bagosaria enibo y'abakenya barabonigo bagenderete goteba buna ekirenga abekenene no gukora mandamano y'omurembe erioko eneki abuna obusibuli bo mu Kenya bwabeire boko enekiwa okwana nabariki amangana asensemo ya apailimi mucho Nairobi nigo omokonyi bo muraibe kyamekyo Martha Karua abaga komochyo kogosererwa kwa baraiba Azimio abo baba bagweso kya kogenda sechi bisicho muraibense erioko ikerania amagani yabo.
We strongly feel that it is immoral and criminal in a country of close to 50 communities for appointments to go only to members of one community. Unfortunately, our members of parliament who were on their way to the office of the president to begin the presentation of the petitions were not allowed to access this public office for which we pay with our taxes. Despite being peaceful and unarmed, they were met with tear gas and gunshots and other forms of brutality. We know why we could not be allowed to present a petition to OP on cost of food. There has been an attempt by the illegitimate Kenya Kwanza regime to mislead the people of Kenya that the cost of unga has come down. The truth is that it has not, and we wanted to prove it. We also wish to let Kenyans know that the new unga brands that they are retailing at slightly lower prices than the older familiar brands are GMO maize. A number of millers have declined to mill that and sell it to Kenyans as a matter of principle. It is incumbent on the Kenya Kwanza regime, shall I add the legitimate regime, to be honest with Kenyans, tell them the truth, and let them have a choice. Kenyans must not be made to consume GMO products without being told and offered a choice. We said it yesterday, and we will say it again today. William Ruto and his illegitimate regime are making serious attempts to suspend our hard-won constitution, which we shall not.
Abana kamati bali bachore tukurwase obomo bwa Kenya Kwanza iriogochia kura ase chingwane chiarobire gukorekana egatie serikali na boigo obomo bwa Azimio la Umoja One Kenya nigo bamochirie obomo bwa Azimio hasogoteba buna tibari tayare ase chingwane cho nigo baganirie oba baburiria babwatani kurwase obomo bwa Azimio la Umoja One Kenya kwene kiabuna ngotwara bare umusimamo ase ngencho ase nsemo yabo nigo beroberetie gosibe yariganite kegima ase ogokora chingwana abune njira Eyemo yo koleta omorembe himense ya Kenya.
We have a statement to give to you as regards the status of the talks, the bipartisan talks. And this is a press release. We, the Kenya Kwanza bipartisan talks team, having duly consulted amongst ourselves, wish to state as follows. Number one, we are unwaveringly committed to the bipartisan talks, wholeheartedly and in utmost good faith. Number two, we have called upon our colleagues from the Azimio la Umoja side to give us a commitment, but this has not been forthcoming. We still repeat this call to them to actually make the commitment. Number three, we are prepared for the sake of our beloved country, Kenya, to bend in different directions over and over again so that these talks are successful and we heed the call, as we heed the call from His Excellency the President William Samoei Ruto for peace in the country and for dialogue over the issues of mutual interest affecting Kenyans. Number four, the only issue we have with our colleagues is the oxymoron in their speeches. In one hand, they insist on a structured dialogue. In the other hand, they are for violent protests in the streets in the name of demonstrations, picketing, etc.
Ase chinga kiecho nigo boigo abana kamati korwaso mrengo Azimio la Umoja One Kenya na barabara kana bakomochia aba na kamati korwase serikali ya Kenya Kwanza asogote babuna nigo bate ariganitie boikeranu ase chingwane cho gento bate na tibari gochikokora chingwana kuika okwe ariganie boikeranu kwa bere gokorekana korwase nsemo ya Kenya Kwanza.
Second condition which they averred on Friday and they repeated today is that they will only resume those talks if the demonstrations are called off. Now, we as a joint bipartisan team have never discussed and have never been mandated to discuss anything about the demonstration. It is not in our place to call them or to call them off. In our place is to discuss the things that are within our mandate, and we had already outlined it. And therefore, to give us a condition that we have to call off any demonstration, which is a constitutional right, as a condition of resuming any discussion, again is a show of bad faith. But I particularly want you and urge you to look at that statement. There are two things that are striking about that statement. One is to call our position an oxymoron. You don't use such words in respect of your colleagues in good faith when you're negotiating. Secondly, is to do what the police have done, is to declare in that statement that the demonstrations that have been called are violent. Now, to adopt that language of the police by honorable colleagues when we are discussing constitutional principles is unfortunate. We want to state clearly that we, as the Azimio team, are ready and have always been ready to resume, and we will resume any time we get communication that the Honorable Adan Kainan has been withdrawn as a member of the Kenya Kwanza team. If we get that communication now, we are ready to resume immediately. As long as they've refused to do that, it is a continuation of the bad faith, and we will hold on until such time as they choose to accede to it.
Gotikana nayo nigo muraibense Dr. William Samoei Ruto agendrete kwene kia ukubwatirana wechinse chionse chirase obomo bwa East Africa eriokoreta amagendro gukwana chingaki arigania ense ya Somalia ase obomo boni gorutabaga goteba buna ukubwatirana wechinse chiga ngo chikokonya mono ase owekinia na gukora emechando au anena sensemo yobonchoreria na yanda mange eriogokinya uchumi ase orogonkuruiga.
We welcome
our sister nation of Somalia to join the East African community. We are looking forward to Ethiopia, Sudan, with all the challenges, to come on board so that we can build a stronger, bigger, and hopefully much prosperous region. The ability of people to move across borders makes it possible for trade in goods and services, facilitating wealth creation and socio-economic development. To the extent, therefore, that we are committed to socio-economic transformation and regional integration, we are equally irreversibly invested in human mobility. The development of our regional economic communities like the EAC and IGAD has highlighted the importance of human mobility and consequently given greater attraction and high importance to the need to ease the movement of people, unlock trade barriers, and address persistent challenges to integration. As a country, we have taken the policy decision that any African from any part of our continent is free to come to Kenya without acquiring visa prior to the visit. We can give them a visa at the airport.
Mwancho muligereri wanayo mnenda mangino chikenyora senchira yobekiranu chikoraga chinse sato gendra kubwatia mirobere yonsi ya Ndizi TV na bwo obwansu bwo mugusiere tariane Everline Osero to watrana nere Joshua Auta kweneke muna wikira sensemo yebimanyererio.